Tonight at 8, an innocent man returns from prison to a small town with a big secret. Chuck Connor stars in the propane comedy Tonight at 8 on Super 66. Weeknights at 10, drop in on the golden girl of late night comedy.
I hope you didn't have any trouble finding her.
Oh, no, ma'am. I heard you all the way from the bus stop.
Fussy, feisty, and just a little irrational.
I am not irrational.
But she's always on top.
So what, Maude? You told me 100 times you want to feel possessed.
Walter Finley, I never said that standing up, and you know it.
Maude, weeknights at 10 on Super 66.
God will get you for that, dear.
Sitcom, are ye faithful? A Christmas podcast special where again I discuss 25 Christmas sitcom episodes. Please come and listen every day until Christmas. I'm sure we'll feature Balky, Gilligan, and Young Webster, Rose Nyland, Eric Foreman, and definitely Mork. We'll definitely talk about Mork.
Enjoy comedy with Maude when her house guest threatens the harmony of an employee's party that Walter's planning. Tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Central on CBS.
Lady Godiva was a freedom rider. She didn't care if the whole world looked. Joan of Arc with the Lord to guide her. She was a sister who really cooked. Isadora was the first bra burner. Ain't you glad she showed up?
Oh, yeah!
And when the country was falling apart, Betsy Ross got it all sewed up.
And then there's Maude.
And then there's Maude.
And then there's Maude.
And then there's Maude.
And then there's
Happy Thursday, everybody, and welcome back to Sitcom, All Ye Faithful, where today I watched the Season 4, Episode 14 of Maude. And then there's Maude, and then there's Maude, and then there's Maude. This is called The Christmas Party. Not to be confused with The Office Party, which seems like it was also a pretty similar episode from, I think, Season 2 that I did find on Tubi and didn't watch because I watched this one instead. But maybe that'll be a future one, because here we are with another show where I was like, damn, I should watch this show more, because this is the first episode I've ever seen of Maude. I've known of Maude. I know it was a spinoff of All in the Family. I know because Maude made 2 appearances as Edith Bunker's cousin, and then boom, sent off to be her own show. Now, I'm based on the fact that she only made 2 appearances, I'm assuming that it was set up so that it was like, here's Maude, now go watch her over here, because Norman Lear also created this show. It's not like they were on the show for years and then they got their own show, like Joni, Chachi, Grady, those people. No, this seems like it was completely set up just to have her own show. But on her show, the first 2 seasons, we had Florida Evans. She was a character on that show that was there for a while, then was given her own show of Good Times, Good Times, which has to be a show I do at some point. There's another one of those shows that I watched all the time as a kid. Maude wasn't one of those shows. Good Times was one of those shows. But today I watched Maude, and if you read my description, and I don't always read descriptions of podcasts, I just subscribe to them and then I listen to the next episode. But if you do read the description of the episode of today, you'll see that I think I am I'm not going to say I have a crush on Bea Arthur, but I have grown my respect for her and my just my admiration of her as a sitcom actor. I don't know how it would be in movies or today. Well, maybe today would be just as good, but she is tremendous. That's the word I use. Tremendous. The deadpanning, the look, just like she smiled sometimes, but other times she just was so angry with people, but in a loving way. It was wonderful. I don't know what else to say. It was wonderful. So the show starts off with Maude and her daughter, played by Adrienne Barbeau, who I know more from Swamp Thing and Cannonball Run. And I guess, Chris, you're going to say Escape from New York. I'm sure I've seen that years ago. I remember many parts of it, but I remember her more from, obviously, Cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. But she plays Maude's daughter in this. I'm guessing she's a divorcee because she has a different last name, and her son lives there as well with them. And Maude lives with her fourth husband, Walter Finley, played by Bill Macy, which I'm assuming, I wonder if that's why William H. Macy put the H there, because he's William H. Macy. And this is Bill Macy, who we lost a couple of years ago. So he's having a Christmas party at the house. At the same time, Maude is having a famous friend that she grew up with staying at the house. And this woman is famous for extolling for women's rights and equality for women, which is also kind of what I felt Maude was like too. That was one of the points of the show, to be almost like, I didn't want to say the anti-Archie Bunker, because Archie Bunker's whole point of view was to be laughed at. Like he the way he acted, you'd be like, that's wrong. But character-wise, she is pretty much the exact opposite. So I need to go watch those All in the Family episodes, because I'm sure Archie and Maude got along swimmingly. So Maude's in a really good mood because this woman, she sees her old friend and she's just so happy. And the friend comes downstairs and they share a lot of inside jokes that they used back in the 40s. And her daughter was like, these are the worst jokes I've ever heard, but she liked seeing her mom happy. She's like, I've never seen you smiling before and happy. So that was kind of funny, just that Maude has this reputation of being a bit of a hard ass. So Walter, Maude's husband, is like, I can't wait for the party tonight. Hey, listen, he says to the friend, can you just kind of, lay off some of the women rights things a little bit and just kind of lay back. And this woman was like, I'm not having any of it. This is not right. She's like, you're a good guy. Even the guy, that's not right. But what happens is she basically is set up as just kind of the sourpuss of the party, because Maude is, agrees with everything this woman believes in with women rights, but she has these friends that are kind of, not outwardly expressive of it. It's kind of like, I don't want to say it's like me, where it's like, I agree with you, but I don't go around, saying, hey, don't be that way. Hey, be that way. That's not how I am. I don't know if I'm Conrad Bain level. Yes, Conrad Bain not only is in the show, he's a regular on the show. I know him obviously as Mr. Drummond, and to me, it's like he's never been anything else but Mr. Drummond, to the point where he played Mr. Drummond on like The Fresh Prince years later. But for people who watched Different Strokes and who are a little older, they'll be like, hey, there's Conrad Bain from Maude. To my generation, it's like, oh, Mr. Drummond was on another show. And then his wife, hello, Golden Girls reunion. I thought this was just a two-parter for Bea Arthur this year, but it's also a two-parter for Rue McClanahan, because she plays Maude's best friend. Well, until she found out that this other woman, she goes, this is my very best friend. And Rue McClanahan's like, oh, no. You're also my very best friend. It's Dr. Arthur Hammond and his wife, his second wife, Vivian. She played his scatterbrained second wife, where in Golden Girls she just played a horny old lady. But it is cool seeing them together. And again, the same thing. I see this and I go, oh my God, it's the two Golden Girls together. But when people watch Golden Girls, they're probably like, oh my God, it's Maude and Vivian. They're in a show together again. This is great. They become really synonymous with the Golden Girls. And that's the crazy thing is this show lasted for 6 seasons, 140 episodes. This was a huge hit. But they're still also known like just as well or more so for the show that followed it that became, that lasted a little bit longer, a little more episodes, but, very similar in the timeline. But maybe it's just because in the 80s, I don't know, celebrity got bigger and the world was able to, I don't know if it's just because more people got TVs. I really don't know. But maybe it was just a bigger hit as well. But it's just funny seeing them seeing these two characters or actors and thinking, oh my God, again, people my parents' age probably thought, oh, wow, there's Maude and Vivian. I thought that was pretty cool. And this show also has a great theme song created just for them, just for the show, performed by Donny Hathaway. And then there's Maude, and then it is a very catchy song about all these like women in the world that are famous, are important and historic. And then there's Maude, and she answers the door. She's like, "Hey, it's me, Maude." So the Christmas party happens, and they're preparing for it. And actually, her husband and the friend get in a little bit of a fight because he doesn't want her to ruin the party, and she doesn't think he's being right about the way he's acting. They also have a new housekeeper because after Florida Evans left, apparently everybody needs a housekeeper, and Florida Evans was no longer there. So there was this British woman named Mrs. Nagatuck. And when I saw her, she just kind of reminded me of like old British television shows. Like my father-in-law used to watch, it was a British show set in a department store. And it was like on PBS in the 90s. It was an older show, but it was on all the time. And I don't remember what it's called, but just the way they talk like this, like overly British and very silly, and oh my goodness gracious, it reminded me of that type of character. And again, this is the 70s, so it's a similar kind of comedy style. But the party is about to start, and she meets Maude's grandson, who's going off caroling because he wants to make money, but she's like, "Oh, you're such a good boy," and he goes, "No, I want to try to make some money." So the party starts, and you meet Conrad Bain, you meet Vivian, Rue McClanahan, and they're just saying all these liners like making fun of his wife, and I'm coming, my master, all these things that are just triggering this woman. Like, what? Why would they do that? Why would you act that way? Why would you degrade your wife that way? All these things that are, that are funny to them, like they think it's no big deal. But to this other woman, she's like, that is disrespectful. And she says all these things. And then Maude brings her in the other room and she's like, listen, can you calm this down a little bit? Because you're not having very much fun. You're kind of ruining things. But then they catch a couple making out and she's like, you're disrespecting yourself. They go to hang something up in the closet. The woman's making out with a different guy. Like this. And she's like, how, all these men just look at you this way. She's like, ooh, and she kind of liked it. They played a game where, called Dictionary, where you find a word in the dictionary and everyone tries to guess what it means, a big word. And it was like Hagatarius or something. And Conrad Bain is like, oh, that must be something that my wife catches. Or I guess it would be Nagatarius. All these funny jokes and everyone's giggling and laughing. And she gets so angry. And she's like, this isn't the way you should be. You should be better. This isn't the way Maude is. Maude would never, stoop to this level. And then Maude comes out dressed as Santa Claus. Ho, ho, ho. And she goes, how could you dress that way? And she's like, lady, it's Santa Claus. Calm down. Will you just relax a little bit? You're right about everything you said about equal rights. So she gives a little bit of a monologue like this equal rights and the way that, men and women are treated, it's not right. And you're very, very important. And you're a very smart woman and you're a huge influence on me. But also at the same time, let's have a little fun and have some Christmas. there's a knock at the door, and the kid shows this kid who delivers the newspaper. He's like, "Hey, I was wondering if I could get a Christmas check." She goes, "Oh, it's out." This was great. She goes, "Oh, it's out where my paper is." "Oh, where's my paper?" "I don't know. It took me an hour to find it. Go look for it." She slams the door in his face. At the end of the episode, the kid shows up with a stack of newspapers. He's like, "I found them." She goes, "Oh, come in here." And they all sing Christmas carols together around the piano as the episode ends. But this seems like this is a really short episode. But at the same time, it's like, I don't even know how much to go into. There was a cool moment where there's a old photo of Bea Arthur, and her daughter's like, "Oh my God, you used to be pretty." And she's like, "Okay, don't make a big deal about it. It's Christmas." Like, she talked to herself. Like, she just shows these comedic chops that I knew as Dorothy, but I didn't really know as Maude. And now I know why people enjoyed or loved the show, because it is a really lovable show. Like, her husband's like fun and enjoyable. And I feel like I need to someday another one to revisit. Again, I say this all the time, and have I revisited any of these sitcoms since last year? I have not. But I want to. Now, the first 2 seasons of Maude are available on Tubi, including a Christmas episode called The Office Party. This episode was not available on Tubi, so I'll just say I had to find it, and I found it. And I'm glad I did, because I did enjoy it. And I have to tell you, I think I'm done. Like, I think I don't know if I have anything else to say about this this episode, this show. I don't know how much else to say. Oh, wait, I was on the Wikipedia, and so apparently Mrs. whatever the hell her name is, the British lady, Nell Nagatuck, was not the housekeeper all the way until the end. There was Victoria Butterfield, played by Marlene Warfield, who was on the last season of the show. I don't know why. It looks like they married off Mrs. Nagatuck. But it looks like episode-wise, Bea Arthur and Bill Macy were in every episode. It says Conrad Bain is also in 141 episodes, but then I read something where there were some episodes where it was just Maude and Walter, just the two of them, the entire episode. I find that interesting. I want to go back. I do want to go back and watch these shows. Maybe someday I actually will. But not tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, my friends. We'll be back tomorrow with another fun, fine episode. And if everything goes right and well planned, tomorrow features our first guest of the year. And what show will we be talking about? Well, my friends, that's until tomorrow. You're not going to know about that until tomorrow, until the new episode comes out, or if you follow me on Twitter at Geek Mentality, because I always tweet out a little tease for the episode that's coming. So you can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Geek Mentality. The Facebook page is simply Fans Not Experts, and the website is fansnotexperts.com. See, pretty easy. And you can get every episode of Sitcom All Ye Faithful and every episode of everything I do at fansnotexperts.com/Geek Mentality. Geek Mentality is the podcast, and it just has a bunch of different mini shows that make up my geek mentality. Get it? Yaka Waka. That was weird. That was not Fozzie Bear. That was a new thing. Yaka Waka. I don't know. Okay, I'm not editing that out. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing. And until tomorrow, until day 16, here is my theme song. This is my podcast. I made it. Geek Mentality's what I named it. And I think you should listen and subscribe, 'cause I'm kinda funny and awesome. I think that I'm worth your time, and I'm kinda handsome. My mom says, please listen and please subscribe. At least listen to this episode.
Fans Not Experts.
Right